Hey guys, welcome back to the Cool Classic Hit Show, and today we are talking about Square Enix, Dragon Quest XII, and well, what has happened with Luminous Productions, because there's definitely a little tidbit of information that is out there. But guys, anybody who knows me, I guess you would assume that I'm a Square Enix fangirl. While I do have plenty of criticisms for Square Enix, I have to say my three most anticipated games are Final Fantasy 16, because, well, that game looks better than literally anything else that isn't a remake, okay? Then we have Dragon Quest XII, which, anybody who knows me knows that Dragon Quest XI is one of my all-time favorite games. It is, oh my god, it was such a pleasure to play that game. I was in my happy place. If you have not played it, please play the definitive edition. It is, it will just make you happy. It just felt like I hadn't felt that feeling of gaming in such a long time. I was just in such a bright, amazing place just playing this game that genuinely made me happy, that got its fundamentals correct, which is more than I can say for the mass majority of modern games. But my third and final game that I'm excited for is Dragon Quest III Remake, because, well, Dragon Quest III just so happens to be the first RPG experience I ever had on the Game Boy Color as like a 6-year-old, and I was an idiot. I had no idea what I was doing. So to be able to experience that again as an adult, actually being reasonably knowledgeable on RPG games, just a little bit more than I was at 6, and I could better read now, at least I hope. I would love to experience a very one of the most influential games, honestly, being Dragon Quest III, in a remade fashion that is in the Octopath Traveler sort of visual style. It just overall sounds like a match made in heaven. But I digress. Yes, I'm excited for a lot of Square Enix projects, but a tidbit of information at 9 in the morning, which Red Hood 420, shout out to Red Hood 420, sent me this information that essentially at 9 in the morning, having just woken up, having not done any research, I wanted to jump off a bridge. But I must say it's a little more deeper than what it seems, because, well, the main staff of Luminous Productions has been removed from Creative Business Unit, moved to Creative Business Unit 2, excuse me. Luminous Productions, they are the developers of Final Fantasy 15 as well as Forspoken. Basically, games that essentially had their problems. Let's just put it that way. I was a day one purchaser of Final Fantasy 15 and absolutely regretted the purchase. I've been told by many that their experience was so much better because a lot of these individuals happen to have played the game years later, and that's awesome. I'm glad you had the experience I was hoping to have, having bought Final Fantasy 15 day one, but my experience was unfortunately trash. So it seems as though they needed more than 15 years to properly develop and pull that game together, which is insane to think about. But hey, from what I've heard, at least they finally did get it at the end. So shout out to people that actually had the good experience for that. And they also, like I said, developed Forspoken, which has its own problems. Let's just put it that way. So they've not really been able to translate well to the AAA development space. So what does this mean that Luminous Productions has been moved to Creative Business Unit 2 of Square Enix? Well, let's just go into a little bit of figuring out what Creative Business Unit 2 is. And, this is a bit of an old article discussing the Square Enix's development structure, but it gives you kind of like a breakdown of who's doing what. Who's responsible for what? So this is Creative Business Unit 1. We're going to go to Creative Business Unit 2. And Creative Business Unit 2's main focus is the Dragon Quest series, Nier series, Octopath Traveler series, and Bravely Default series. So they work on a bunch of different things. So who knows what these Luminous developers are going to be working on? Do I think that the Luminous Productions developers are bad? In terms of the AAA space, yes, I believe so, in my personal opinion. But can they be great to a series such as Octopath Traveler or Bravely Default? Yes, I really do think that they were stuck between that AA and AAA in terms of what they could do. And I think that they can make AA games feel more prestigious. So if they happen to be working on Octopath or Bravely Default, I think that they have a lot to offer those games. Now, something like Dragon Quest XII, which, mind you, is an Unreal Engine 5 game that seems to be like a really big production, guys, because, well, just to give you like a basis of what's up with Dragon Quest XII, because it's been a minute. They announced this game back in May of 2021, and I remember the day I was so excited. I literally I was losing my shit, guys, and this was before I started doing YouTube, just before, like a few months before. And yeah, like this is a game that's been in development for a while. Who knows? To be honest with you, some of the inklings I've been getting from this game kind of feels like a Final Fantasy 15 situation, just a little bit. I'm hoping that I'm over exaggerating. I'm hoping that this is me just freaking out because this is my most anticipated game and I just want it to be perfect. And obviously nothing's perfect, so uh, I'm gonna freak out a little bit. But the wait for Dragon Quest XII is the longest in the series. And he say here, it should be noted that while the silence surrounding Dragon Quest XII continues, the game has already crossed a threshold for the series. The gap between Dragon Quest XI and Dragon Quest XII is already longer than the length of time between any two previous games in the main Dragon Quest series. Before this point, the 5-year gap between Dragon Quest X and Dragon Quest XI was the record, with the 4.5-year gaps between Dragon Quest 6 and 7, as well as Dragon Quest 9 and 10, not far behind. Dragon Quest 12 has already taken 6 years with no release date in sight. So we're dealing with a game that's been in development for a while, and mind you, the plot thickens even more because, well, this game has 3 developers. We have Korean Business Unit 2, and we also have Japanese studio Hexadrive involved, and this is a company with which Square Enix fans should be familiar with. It also assisted in Final Fantasy 15. Yikes! Nintendo fans might best known it thanks to the company's involvement in Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD for the Wii U, which is a big thumbs up. They did an extravagant job with that game. It's a shame that Nintendo hasn't ported that to the Switch. A lot of people need to experience the HD version of Wind Waker. I love it. I don't own it anymore since I sold my Wii U. I'm kind of sad about that. I was assuming Nintendo was going to port all their games from the Wii U and pretend the Wii U didn't exist, but they did most of the games, not all of them. It's also been confirmed that fellow Japanese company Orca will be lending a hand to Dragon Quest XII. Based in Shinjuku, Orca previously worked on Dragon Quest 11 Echoes of the Elusive Age. That's the original version of Dragon Quest 11, and also having worked on Dragon Quest 11S, the Echoes of the Elusive Age Definitive Edition. It's also helped Bandai Namco with Ace Combat 7. So these guys are pretty versatile, man, to work on not only Dragon Quest 11 but Ace Combat 7. They have three developers working on Dragon Quest 12 in Unreal Engine 5 based JRPG game. Who knows? I can't say for sure if Luminous Productions devs were working on it. Could that be a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, it could be both. I mean, just the fact that they aren't very good at AAA games, but hey, maybe their helping hand can speed up the development for this game, because this game's been in development for a while and I'm highly anticipating it, guys. But this is just an interesting tidbit of information that involved a good bit of research on my part just to figure out what's going on with Dragon Quest XII. I've been purposely staying away from it because I just want to know the release date. So I've been not thinking about Dragon Quest XII for a while, but it's interesting to figure out what's been going on with Dragon Quest XII since its initial announcement. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think about this. If you can, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Follow me over on Twitch, Twitter, or Kick if you want to continue the conversation. Consider becoming a channel member if you would like instant access to the Discord. And guys, with all being said, I'm out. Peace.